So today we're kind of taking two different requests that I got from the comments. One from Kimmy Zubair Vanikirk 8794 who asked for water birds, and Arsen Movsebsian who asked for birds on a branch. I sort of combined the two, and we're going to carve this robin design today, which is quite stylized, but that kind of helps us carve it in a way and makes it a bit more bold and interesting. So let's get to it. So I'm just going to do the outline like I normally do, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. So I can use the V-chisel down here, around the head and the beak and around there, and a bit of this body here as well. But the rest of it I'm going to use gouges. So I'm going to push the gouge straight down to get round the outline of it, and then come down at an angle to kind of take out the same sort of shape that we get, that we take out with the V-chisel. So let's try and do that now. So I'm finding that using two different chisels is quite beneficial when making these lines on the outside. So what I'm doing is I'm using a gouge that has quite a deep curve to it, and starting the cut off with that. So this is just the straight down cut, and then I'm using a curve with a gouge with a rather shallow curve to it to cut from the outside inwards, and that seems to give us a pretty similar shape to the shape that we cut out with the V-chisel. So that's the way I'm doing it. Seems to be working pretty well. So now I'm going to take the V-chisel and just go around the body there, and then go around these kind of upper wing parts. And then after that we're going to start coming in here with a straight chisel and going along all these lines, and then making it so they kind of stagger down. So this one here is overlapping this one. This one here is overlapping this one here is overlapping this one, etc. And then we'll do the same for the tail, except the highest one is one of these ones in the middle, and then the rest are going to be below it. So after the fun we had with the auction in the last video, I'm going to put the flower carving up on eBay for auction starting at 99p. With no reserve or anything. I'll post it anywhere in the world. Obviously the postage will vary depending on where you are. And I've just started putting the oil on these, and you can see just how nice that looks. with the bold linseed oil on it. So nice. So anyway, I'll put a link in the description for that if you want to bid on it, and then we'll see the result in the video after this one. I'll tell you what happened. Okay, so now we're going to work on these inner parts of the wings, and what I'm going to do is come in with a flat edge chisel. This is the bendy boy one, and go along those two lines there and along this inside bit so we can cut a bit underneath so it looks like the wings are going kind of under the body of the robin. Then I'm going to come in with this one, this kind of flat chisel with rounded edges, and I'm going to carve inwards so there's like 3 different layers here, kind of like we did with wings, except using this instead. Right, so now I'm going to round over this whole body, except for probably the beak. Just round over the edges really. I don't really need to come towards the middle because it's quite a shallow relief we're doing here. If the wings were set further back, then I would round over more, but they're not. They're actually, they're still quite close to the surface. So I'm going to round over around the edges, and then I'm going to take a flat chisel, probably the bendy boy again, and go around the outside, maybe a gouge on the top to get those curves of these feet. Then we'll round those over and just kind of line where the toes are, and then we'll move on to this upper part. Right, so now we're going to take a small flat chisel and some gouges and do this line around here. Then we'll take that kind of a curved end flat chisel and go in all these gaps and make this part lower than this part. Then after that I'll take a small gouge, come around the eye here and use a flat chisel to curve it all over so it's like a half sphere. And then another flat chisel, probably bendy boy again, come in here, carve the beak down just so it looks like a kind of, separate from the head a little bit. And then we'll probably add some texture. So while I texture the body with this rounded over flat chisel, I just want to say thanks to my patrons who support the channel, and members of the Bendy Boy Society will get the template for this carving. So thank you very much, guys, I appreciate it. And so this is the finished result, and in fact if you come over this way, then you'll see just how great all these carvings look with the boiled linseed oil on them. They actually turned out a bit better than I thought, to be honest with you. And here's the robin. Lots of different layers on that, I like it. Thanks so much for coming, guys, I really appreciate you watching the video. I still haven't figured out what the next design is going to be, but I'll get working on that this weekend probably. I'll catch you again next time.